Remember in 2022 where we had 3 Pinocchio movies released in just a span of a year? We had the Guillermo del Toro masterpiece, which became the second stop-motion animated movie winner at the Oscars. We had one that just lacked soul, where CGI Puppet was the most realistic and best actor in the entire film. Oh yeah, there was a third one. I've just forgotten what the third one is. One thing I do know is I know that Father, when can I leave to be on my own? I've got the whole world to see. 2022 was quite the wild year, but people often forget this isn't the first time someone tried to retell the story Pinocchio, and it's been done many times. Last year we had a video game inspired by it, visiting the city of Krat, that many Dark Souls creators seem to enjoy. They have appeared in Shrek, they've been an anime character, they've been on that ABC series that ran for 7 seasons. Really, this ran for 7 seasons. Oh, and yeah, Lou Wilson.
Really, I'm not gonna be a real boy ever again. I'm not a real boy. I tried to be a real boy. I'm not a real boy anymore. I'm a puppet, Cricket. I'm a puppet!
So what am I here to talk about? Well, today I'm going to be talking about a movie that I swear I dreamed in a fever dream. All these TikToks that go, am I the only one who remembers this movie, pointing up in the sky, then show a basic AF thing like a Monster House? You know, like, alright Sarah, we've all seen Monster House, come back when you have like a better take, you know, like a help I'm a fish to offer, rather than your can I have a water instead of a Coke kind of take. Where was I going with this? Ah yes, Pinocchio 3000. Pinocchio 3000, also known simply as P3K, came out in 2004 and it was directed by Daniel Robichaud. It cost $15 million to make but just made over $1.4 million. It wasn't the success that it hoped to be, looking to create a series out of all this after. Cinegroupie, a Canadian animation company, was behind the animation, while Crystal Films, who's known for having their headquarters in Canada, helped with distribution, with James Gelfield behind the music. Gelfield may be more known as they did a few episodes of Are You Afraid of the Dark? And I have to confess, you may judge by my accent that I don't know much about Canadian productions, unless it came over here in the UK. So I missed out on things like what's more Americanised, like Goosebumps TV series, and of course, as I mentioned, Are You Afraid of the Dark? What we did have though is Gruesome Tales of Gruesome Kids and a thing called Scary Sleepover. I swear, I need to talk about Scary Sleepover one day because that show was absolutely insane. Anyway, how does this change to a futuristic setting change the story of Pinocchio? Will going to the year 3000 be any different? Will they be living underwater? Or will we find out about your great-great-great-grandmother? Let's see. Oh yeah, I will be using the English dub because je n'ai pas les pas français. We start with an old man making something, and we'll learn that this is of course Pinocchio, and this man is Geppetto, voiced by Howard Ricepan. And I don't like how he's touching those eyes, it's activating some type of fight and flight inside of me. People are going to comment at first, this movie just looks hideous, but I make a matter not to judge the animation quality unless it's really bad. Like, this is almost just your average early 2000s animation, and for the most part, believe me, I've seen worse. Welcome to Scamboland. How to describe it? It's a mixture of Robo City and Sneedville, and even with someone in charge who hates plants. This can be seen as much of the technology is trying to cover up plant life, only for our almost lampwick stands in, called Zach and Cynthia, who helped to save a life of a plant. Cynthia is voiced by Gabriella Fassi, this seems to be her only voice credit. Zach, on the other hand, has quite a lot behind him. He was in the band Varsity Fan Club, he voiced Van in Final Fantasy XII, and the one that surprised me, that he's Francis in a movie that has been such a guilty pleasure of mine for many years, Spy Kids 3D. Let me just add that to the list. They saved the plant by destroying government property and defacing a police vehicle, where we see Stromboli watching over like a holographic god, a ruler of this dystopian society, even with a 1984 eye above his building. Stromboli is played by the legendary English voice actor Malcolm McDowell, who's done everything from Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange to Dr. Calico and Bolt. Listen, I could go on all day when I say how talented this man is. It's no exaggeration when I say he is the king of villains. He's Death in Castlevania, Moriarty in the time that Tom and Jerry met Sherlock Holmes, and in one of his funnier roles, he was a British person in South Park.
Hello, I'm a British person.
Stromboli's goal is to get rid of all nature and hates children. Stromboli hates all children apart from one. His own daughter Marlene, voiced by Helena Evangelou, who voiced Bloom in The Winx Club. Marlene is quite the hater for her father's projects and much prefers her own little park of plants, one of the only greenery left in the city. Marlene complains that there aren't any place for kids. Thus, Stromboli is like, yo, it's a place I can get rid of all the kids so I don't have to deal with them. So he makes Scamboland, a place to keep the kids. Oh yeah, and that plant the two kids went to save? We cut away to a robot penguin. Trust me, this is the same movie, called Spencer. This is our Jimny/talking cricket stand-in for this movie, and he's voiced by Gizmo himself. Jacob, what's his name again?
Howie Mendo.
Spencer's here to help Geppetto activate Pinocchio. Tonight. Sadly, it's the same night as Scamboland's opening, where I should mention our fox and cat stand-in. We've got Jack Daniel Wells, who plays Rodo, who's like a porcupine, and Matt Holland, who plays Cab, who is a cab. Matt Holland is the one whose name kind of stuck out to me, and that's when I found out. He played the antagonist in the Outlast Whistleblower DLC. You know, one of the most terrifying horror games of all time. I didn't expect this movie to have that type of pipeline. There's easy to have a Deus Ex pipeline from this movie, as that game was also made in Canada, but I haven't played Deus Ex and don't have much knowledge about it. All I know about that game is I learned from H-Bomber Guy's video. But to be fair, the Whistleblower DLC haunted me for so long. I watched Let's Play of that when I was younger and I was too much of a coward to play it for myself. It's quite the core moment. Let's head back to the children's movie. Geppetto commits a little small theft as he steals from the entire city's power supply to bring Pinocchio to life, leaving to Scamboland to shut down before anyone can enter. Pinocchio is born from the same machine that gave Captain America muscles, and alright, I only have 2 more voice actors to mention here, but this is the one that broke me mentally and made me take a break for an entire week. The voice of Pinocchio is Sonia Ball. Sonia Ball has done a lot of voices in their history, but the one that is listed haunted me more than the Outlast connection. What could scare me more than a terrifying horror game with mutilation and terrifying demons? The Gummy Bear. That bear I hated when I was younger because there was one crane machine at my local town centre that only played that song. That's it. I went past it so much it annoyed me. I thought I could escape that bear once I hit my 20s, but nope. He rises like the Lovecraftian entity he is. Sorry, where was I? Ah yes, what is the first thing you tell your robot child when he's born? Oh yeah, you teach him about the fun of playing, and his own mortality is unlike any others, and he will never grow up. Whilst everyone around him perishes, he will have no feeling, no true emotion. He is a soulless being. Haha, Whoopi Goldberg is here! Ho ho! Listen, I don't want to criticise Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg is an icon, but they're currently on my criminal list for a crime of ruining my favourite movie of all time. If you know, you know. She plays Cyberina, a fairy in this movie. Cyberina jokes about Pinocchio being a robot and not really Geppetto's son, saying, what's his purpose? But it's made me go, you're a cyber fairy. What is your purpose? What do you do? Why is there a cyber fairy in this town? I'm not questioning this. Is this rabbit hole will only make me go further and further down before I just have to accept this weird wonderland? We're only 20 minutes into this movie, and I've got an hour left of this, so we can't ramble too much. Usual deal is the fairy, if you can learn right from wrong, he'll make you a real boy. And off to school they go, with wacky hijinks happening. Cap and Rodo are outside the school, trying to lure kids back to Scamboland to no avail. Pinocchio makes friends with Zack and Cynthia, but Marlene comes over, pretty much just do robotic hate crimes. We'll also get explained what the P3K in the title is.
I've got a P3K imagination module, the latest technology.
Inside Pinocchio, there's an imagination module that allows him sentience. It is why the Marlene lures Pinocchio away instead of the fox and cat stand-in, with a bet that Robots can't imagine. There's no time to question the morality of all this, but she takes them to a park to play the imagination game, which turns into a contest with Cyberina as the ref. This is where the theme by James Gelfand plays called What's the Difference? The song speaks how Pinocchio has everything that you class as human in the mind, self-thought and imagination, but does not feel or have a beating heart. Both sides shake hands and comes to an understanding and respect, and though Cyberina comes in and ruins it, just like Butch Hartman ruined... Okay, I promised I wouldn't get distracted. They claim that Marlene won the contest, which, listen, when a contest is all about imagination, you don't really have a winner. This isn't like a Wizard Joe scenario where they have to one-up each other. Then this is just so Cyberina can cause more issues for Pinocchio. Sure, he has to learn things, but Cyberina is going to be the cause of all the problems that are about to happen. Pinocchio takes the medal as his nose grows as he claims that he actually won that. And then he just immediately gives up on being a real boy and is lured away by the duo, taken away to Scamboli. They while a discussion about how great robots are. Pinocchio says,
Life would be great if kids were more like us.
And Scamboli has the same idea as William Afton. How do I turn these kids into robots? Once again, they have an opening to Scamboland, but Pinocchio is the main act singing. And I honestly, the auto-tune's a bit wild here.
This place is just like a dream. Welcome to Scamboland.
Hatsune Miku, this isn't, but they're trying to give a bit of a no strings on me style scene. This isn't the best song. Geppetto arrives and it doesn't stop Pinocchio like a father should do, but goes, I'm just going to stand here and clap. Then he remembers why he's actually there and Scamboli drags him away. Kids line up to ride the main attraction, a Whale of Change, of course being the monstro in this story, including Zack and Cynthia, who ride it and get turned into robots. All the kids get to turn into Scambo robots, apart from Marlene, as she and Pinocchio are the last to ride, but are stopped by Scamboli just in time. Scamboli blames Pinocchio, but Marlene runs off with him, defying her dad. They go to the garden at night, and Pinocchio's a creep and kisses her while she's asleep. Ew. In the morning, the garden is being destroyed by the robots. Pinocchio is kind of happy about this, while Marlene hates how he's enjoying it. Then it's the reveal by Rodo that the kids are all the robots, leading a race back home to find his dad, who's nowhere to be found, only to be found Spencer. And then they rush to Scamboland to find all the bot kids, with a big reveal! Geppetto's become a robot. It's a shame like all the robots kind of look the same, as there's the only way to tell the difference between Geppetto and the kids is a pair of glasses that didn't get robotized. Spencer steals the remote as a chase ensues, Pinocchio and Spencer run off, Marlene is there to stop her dad, Cab accidentally gives Robo Geppetto the remote, leading to him being in charge of all the kid bots. They reverse the ride, unrobotizing the kids, but that only leaves Geppetto remaining to become human again. Sadly, the ride cuts off halfway through. Pinocchio goes in to investigate, finding Scamboli had turned off the power. The only way out is Pinocchio stroking Scamboli's ego to restart the ride, trapping him on it. In despair, Pinocchio cries out about his father's fate as a Deus Ex computer fairy appears to help restart the ride, petting Pinocchio on it. It's time to see what Pinocchio looks like as a human. Ready, folks? Move that wheel! Move that wheel! Move that wheel! Put it back! Put it back! The movie ends with Scamboli as a robot, Cyberina somehow making everything green again, and please, stop staring at me. So, is this movie good? It's not awful compared to the other Pinocchio remakes. You can tell the effort that did go into this. However, if you do want to go to the year 3000, Busted is going to be my first pick, and the only robot I want to listen to is this one.